Good morning. Welcome back to the Retirement Report. I'm Hank Parrott, your host. With me, a good friend and special guest, Jack McCann with McCann & Hubbard over in Cool Springs area. As I mentioned, I've worked with Jack now for a good 7-8 years. I've been very pleased with, it's been very helpful with my clients as far as the estate planning piece goes. One of the areas there, we're talking about estate planning this morning and the importance of it. In my book, 7 Steps to Financial Freedom in Retirement, Chapter 7, one of the things I get into is the 5 essential documents that form the foundation of a good estate plan. And that would be a pour-over will, a revocable living trust, power of attorney for assets, power of attorney for health care, and a living will. So we'll talk a little more about that. We're going to get into, when Jack, by the way, when someone comes into my office for the first time, and we offered up earlier about the first 10 people, and I'll get that out there again. But when you come in, one of the things that we do, we go over your financial plan. We talk about, of course, the retirement piece in there, and how you're going to be able to retire, and when you want to retire, and how much income you're going to need, what the sources of that income is going to be. We look at what your income now is, what your income in retirement is going to be, and if you're already retired, of course, we're looking at just those things. Do you have, you're going to have Social Security? Are you going to have a pension? Any other sources of income? Maybe rental properties or other things. Maybe you're going to still be working on either a part or full-time basis. We weigh all that in. We look at your income sources. We add in cost of living adjustments that's going to go up. We factor in what your expenses are. What's it cost for you to live each and every month just to pay the bills, right? And by paying the bills, let me be clear, I'm not talking about just basic necessities. We're also talking about vacations. Charitable giving, maybe you're tithing to your church, all of that's, of course, these are expensive. This is to maintain your current lifestyle, going out to dinner, okay? All of that's part of it. If you have certain leisure activities, hobbies, whatever it is that you enjoy doing, what does that typically cost a year? We want to factor all that in, so we're looking at, to be able to continue to do the things you're doing, okay, how much does that cost? And then we add in for inflation. And then when you're retired, you're going to have more, every day's a weekend. It's Saturday every day. I get to play. All right, if that's what I want, I got more free time. So if I got more free time, typically, I don't know about you, but on the weekends, I spend more money than I do during the week when I'm working most of the time. So what we look at then is when you're retired and every day's a weekend, you're going to typically spend a little more, not spend less. And you're going to have more time for those leisure activities, which of course means, again, right, spending more money. That's where we typically spend that. So these are things we're going to look at. So we have your expenses. We add in for fund money, in other words, extra money to have when you're retired to be able to take advantage of that extra time you have, in particular during the first 10 to 15 years of retirement, when your health is there and you got the energy and you want to check off the bucket list. That's a big factor. So we factor that into the planning. We look at your assets. What do you have now? What's going to, what are the things that your investments, your retirement accounts that you're going to be able to pull from, right? When the paychecks go away, where does the income come from that you're going to need to be able to do all these things? We set up a plan for that. That's why the investments are so important, and that's why when we look at volatile times like this, it's very important to have a plan in place. So what we typically do is we have things segmented out for my clients. So what we do there is we have a way to maintain that stable income through different types of, whether it's a laddering of investment portfolios or other tools that we have to use for that, to make sure their income's going to be fine. It's not going to change. It's going to continue to go up, whatever's going on in the market. They don't have to worry about that. We're planning for volatility. We're planning for the next bear market. We've got a plan in place for it, and that's why planning is so important as well. So if you want to take advantage, what I'm going to do again, first 10 callers to my office, number is 615-376-5325. Estate planning is one of the pieces. We're going to get into everything, investment analysis. This will be a great time to take a look at your portfolios. And again, manage the risk. We want to minimize risk in your portfolio while still seeking that market return, right? And knowing what the needed rate of return is. One of the things through this kind of planning, I can show you your financial future based on the things you're doing today and then share strategies with you on how to improve that, how to minimize taxes, improve your returns, manage the risk, again, make sure you're able to maintain that stable income. All of that is part of it. Talk about Social Security and how to minimize taxes on Social Security, Medicare, how to manage your health care costs, those risks. We get into, again, the tax piece is such a big one. I got to tell you, that's one area that I see so many people that come in for the first time, and we're doing an analysis, and we say, you know, I can show you also what your taxing future is going to look like. And for many people, they're spending a lot more, or their plans and how they're going to take money out of their accounts is going to create more tax. We can show you ways to minimize that as well. So that's all part of the planning. 615-376-5325. First 10 callers, Tessa's standing by. She'll get your information. She'll send you out a checklist of things you'll need to bring to your appointment so that we can do this type of planning for you and develop the reports that we're going to provide you. Again, at no charge. And when you come, so give a call, 615-376-5325. When you come in to see me, I'll also give you a free copy of my book, 7 Steps to Financial Freedom in Retirement. We cover all these different areas in there, and that's part of the planning as well. All right, back to the estate plan. So revocable trusts. You know, this is one of those areas, as I said, most of my clients have trusts. There's some exceptions to that. It's not, you know, it's not like a one-size-fits-all in anything. But I do find that for a number of reasons, trust can be very helpful. And Jack, I'm going to kind of go off of these for a little bit, and this is one of those areas that people need to understand. We talk about, by the way, with your retirement accounts and that, beneficiary designations are a big part as well. How to set those up. And a lot of times when we set up a trust, of course, that means also changing the beneficiaries to account for that.
Sure, yeah. People don't realize that just because you've got a will or a trust doesn't mean that it's going to control everything automatically. If you've got a contract with a bank for a checking account, a savings account, an investment account, an insurance account, those, a lot of times those accounts either, sometimes they have joint owners, a lot of times they have beneficiaries on them. So if you have an investment account that says that everything goes to this particular child, and then you got a will that says everything goes to my wife first and then to my kids equally, well, that investment account's going to override what you got in the will. So part of a whole estate plan, and part of what Hank's office does so well, is to make sure that all those things match. You want to make sure it's all integrated, that the beneficiaries on the accounts don't counteract what you're trying to accomplish through your will and your trust.
This is one of the things why planning is so important, because another area, Jack, and I know you deal a lot with, you've had, you know, 10 care issues when you get into that. Special needs trusts, this is one of those areas. So when protecting beneficiaries, every family has, you know, some kind of thing. And maybe it's that, you know, you're concerned that the beneficiaries might be too young to be able to be, you know, as responsible or mature in dealing with money. Maybe it's that, maybe you have, you know, a child that's just not that good with money. Maybe you have a special needs child or grandchild that you want to provide for. There's all kinds of different situations people have where a trust can be very beneficial. And even if everybody's fine and everybody's really good with money and you can leave it to them, leaving it to them in trust can still provide some tremendous benefits, asset protection benefits. And we're going to talk about that right after this break. All right, join us here. We'll be right back on the Retirement Report.